We know it as Operation Show Your Receipt, Keep Your Receipt, and it seems it continues. The police and the army have moved through Vosloorus on the east rand of Johannesburg today, confiscating what they believe are stolen goods from the looting that occurred earlier this month. They've also been criticised, of course, for barging into people's homes. And our reporter Slindelo Masikane was there when the police did their rounds. She joins us now. Hi, Slee. So you've watched this operation. My understanding, it's what they call proactive searches. Talk me through exactly what they do when they arrive at the door of someone's home. Do they have an arrest warrant or a search warrant?
I can tell you from what I saw today, I did not see any search or arrest warrant. But what I did see was certainly more different scenes than what we saw over the past couple of weeks with these so-called Operation Produce Your Receipt that have been taking place following the lootings. You'd remember that Vosloorus bore some of the brunt of that looting, and what I observed today was a less harsher, aggressive approach. Last week what we saw, in fact, were police officers barging down doors and, searching people's homes without them even being there. But today, quite a different scene. They would, approach homes. In this particular instance in Vosloorus, they went to a hostel, the Nguni hostel in Vosloorus, and what they would do is approach those homes that do have people inside. They would then ask who lives here, what are you doing here, and proceed to say, look, we're looking for stolen goods or looted goods. We want to search this particular household. And I don't know if perhaps it's the lack of knowledge, maybe fear, but of course many of the residents don't feel like they have that option to say no, and many of them did allow the police officers to come in, many of them saying that no, if there were goods found, which police actually suspected them to be looted, they would say, look, I don't live here, I'm visiting, or the owner of the house isn't here, I'm just watching it for them for the meantime. Police would then proceed to ask for receipts if they're finding crates of alcohol or clothing or groceries. If those could not be produced, then they would then proceed to confiscate those items. But much less abrasive, but still quite forceful in terms of confiscating many of what I saw to be food items, clothing, alcohol, as well as appliances.
And, not many of us keep receipts for things, especially for general grocery shopping. So on what basis are the police taking these items, and what are the residents saying about this?
I mean, Sally, I really can't tell you for sure what they're using in terms of a reference to say, yes, this is something that has been looted or suspected to have been looted. I mean, many of us buy our groceries in bulk, especially when it comes to those staple items, rice, mealie meal, tea bags perhaps, and even alcohol. Some people will go and stock their alcohol in bulk. So what they're using in terms of a reference to say this has been looted still remains to be seen. But the residents are saying that, government seems to forget that many South Africans are living in abject poverty, especially those residents whose goods were confiscated today, saying that it seems that they're being targeted simply for the color of their skin, saying that this is not happening in suburbia. You don't see police breaking down doors in suburbia, and instead they're coming to the townships. But let's take a listen.
Impahla mabeyithatha boyilahla kunabantu abazokudla lokhu kudla mase bekuthatha bona bethu bokulahla akuswakali kahle lonto lento nayi government ethu uqobo ikhombisa ungasolani nabantu
ukube bekwabelungu ngaba yikho yonke lento eyenzakalayo nesicindezela kwalanje niyabona into eniyenzayo silambile asisebenzi bekasidli atsho i-right lento le
uma uphuma esitore ngeke ubambe isliphu sisiliphu silahla from uphuma esitore uphuma nje esitore qeda ukuthenga isliphu uyasithatha uba usebenzisa ifence
yabona kuba amaphoyisa bewasebenza ngabe lento ayenzekanga from the first time bokungangeneki mara thina sibone ngamaphoyisa ukuthi kuyangena and nawe angeke uzuyekele into ubuyidinga awunamali.
Yeah, and I think some justified outrage there. I imagine police arriving at one's doorstep and saying, well, this is looted unless you prove otherwise. I know that you've also been speaking to lawyers to sort of figure out whether this is constitutional. Tell us a little bit more about what you found out.
Well, I have had an opportunity to speak to the Socioeconomic Rights Institute of South Africa, who have absolutely in the strongest form condemned these what they call warrantless raids, saying that they're unconstitutional, that they are violating a number of rights protected by our constitution, saying that government has actually gone as far as criminalizing poverty. They're saying that, those residents who do feel aggrieved to have had some of their goods confiscated, because a lot of what I heard today, some people were saying, look, but I bought this in February. I bought these goods a while ago. I don't have the receipt. People don't generally keep their receipts unless it's for appliances, for those guarantees. But, Siri is saying that these raids are a violation of those just basic human rights, such as dignity. Let's take a listen.
Condemn the actions by the minister. We actually condemn the operation, show your receipts, because it's a violation of people's rights in terms of Section 14 of the Constitution, which is the right to privacy. It's also a violation to the right to dignity and equality of those people whose homes are being raided.
And Slee, have you had any indication of how long these raids will go on for?
Not at this stage, Sally. I can tell you, as we speak right now, I've tried to make contact with law enforcement spokespersons, where I was asking for just a summary in terms of what happened today, the operation today, where they got the information to go to that particular hostel. Was it intelligence? Was it a tip-off? What exactly did they confiscate today? The amounts. Like I said, I saw a lot of groceries and appliances and clothes as well as alcohol, but to this point I don't have a response from law enforcement. We don't know how long these raids are going to take place for. All we know is that these suspected looted goods are going to be used as evidence in a court of law and then subsequently be destroyed. But will these goods actually suffice or stand up in a court of law, Sally? I think that remains to be seen.
Yes, indeed. And thank you so much for that reporting. Really important story. That's Slindelo Masikane there.